Welcome back to the Lockford Chronicles. My name is Larissa, and today we are going to be going over all the books that I read in November. You guys, this is, I think, the first time in history, and probably the only time in the history of me reading, that I fulfilled my November TBR. Applause, please. Yes, that is correct. Every book on here that I read was from the TBR. Oh my gosh, that never happens. That never happens in the history of booktubers. I've never watched a single person that has been an occurrence. So this is very exciting. So, if you watch my November TBR video, you know what books I'm going to be talking about, but now that I've read them, I can give you my thoughts on them. So starting off with the first book is A Court of Silver Flames. This is a chunker. It is technically the fourth in the ACOTAR series, but if you include the novella, it is the fifth book in the ACOTAR series, which is one of my favorite series. Oh, so many things. Like, I changed my background, so you can see the date. I changed my background to Valeris, as well as, yeah. Because I love ACOTAR so much. Well, I love ACO-Saf, ACO-Moth, A Court of Mist and Fury. That's what I was trying to get at. I love that one with my whole heart and soul. I am going to reread that one. I really want to reread all of them, but like, knowing what I know, kind of want to skip some of them, aka one of them. This is different. I won't give like too many spoilers. No, I won't give any spoilers. What am I saying? But this follows Nesta and Cassian. Nesta is the least liked sister. She is not a nice person. She's super grumpy. It's kind of like a reverse grumpy Sunshine. Because Cassian, he's just a goofball and we love him. This gives a good look at why Nesta is the way that she is, as well as just kind of understanding her character a little bit more. Her love for reading romance just makes me so happy. Also, spicy gal. She's there was one thought that she had about Cassian Azrael. Wow, Nesta. You spicy gal. That's all I can say. But I really did enjoy this. It does dive deeper into bigger themes, very feminist heavy, which we love. Dealing with certain traumas and how to carry on and move forward and be a better individual. I highly enjoyed this one. Next up is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. So this is a multiple timeline or multi-year story. Only takes place on November 9th, and it is dual POV between Fallon and Ben. Ben is an aspiring writer. Fallon was a actress in a hit TV series when she was younger, like in her teens, and she suffered a tragic burning accident, and which left her with severe fourth degree burns on 30% of her body, which that is a lot. I know 30% doesn't seem like a lot for people, but like, it's an aggressive amount. And so she is no longer like a TV actress, and she's trying to figure out what she wants to do. Her dad and her struggle with their relationship, and then Ben comes along and they kind of have like an insta-love relationship, kind of, and they agree to meet only on November 9th for that full day, but not speak in between for I think 5 or 6 years or something like that. And it just kind of takes you through what those November nights happened, like what took place, what changed, and all the drama that ensued from that, because there was a lot of things. There was a lot of things. I really, really loved this quote. It says, when you find love, you take it, you grab it with both hands, and you do everything in your power not to let it go. You can't just walk away from it and expect it to linger until you're ready for it. And I agree. Yep, I agree. Highly enjoyed this. I'm so happy that I'm working my way through Colleen Hoover's writings. Like, I am thoroughly enjoying it. Oh, yeah. Plot twist ensues. There's so many little twisty twists. And I loved the concept of the story. I really did like that it took place on through multiple years on the same day. I thought that was really fun. A fun little twist to it. Next up, I read Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did a whole spoiler-free reading vlog and then a book club episode with spoilers, obviously, on this book because this was one of my most anticipated reads of this year, and I tabbed it with my cool tabs that I also can't figure out where I put. So if anybody remembers, let me know because I don't remember where I put them, which I'm sad about. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, and Carrie Soto is a professional women's tennis player. She has since retired, and so she's 37 years old when her record for the most slams won is being threatened, and she decides to come out of retirement with her dad as her coach to make sure that she can keep her record. This book takes a lot of growth and development of Carrie Soto and kind of does a flashback of her life as well and how she came up through tennis and gender biases between men's and women's sports, which is unfortunate. But she's very good at her craft, and I felt like the main premise of this book was to enjoy the things that you love and be present in those times instead of trying to just take it all. Yeah, if you want more of my thoughts, give it a read and then you can watch the book club episode. I'm so happy I read this year. I can't wait for her next one, whatever it's gonna be. Next up, I read, what did I read? On my Kindle, I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy. It is a sports college romance dealing with hockey players. It's got fake dating trope, first of all. I don't want to say grumpy sunshine, more of a standoffish golden retriever. And it does deal heavily with domestic abuse and sexual assault. So just be wary of that going into it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was a fun read, but it is not the best sports romance I've ever read. But I did enjoy it. There was just some quite a few cringy moments that, it was a little, I don't know, too saccharine, too sweet, I don't even know how to describe it. But I did enjoy it, and I will be continuing on with the series. I don't think I will own them. I'm going to potentially just check them out for my library because there's not something that I feel the need to own. So there's that. But I know a lot of people really love the series. Like, it's one of their favorite series, and I'm so happy for you. But I've read a lot of sports romances in my time, and yeah, this one was good. It just wasn't at the level it could have been. I think the writing could have been a little bit more fleshed out, but again, it's dealing with people in college, so still a little bit not as much maturity, more than a teenager, but not as much maturity as I'm used to with reading those, and my tastes change over time, as all of ours do. All right, Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I am so happy I read it. Okay, so for those who loved The Love Hypothesis, I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, this is copy paste. It is very similar writing. Like, the writing is the same person. So like, yeah, it's gonna be very, very similar. It's very much like a rom-com, cutesy, bubblegum. Oh, I don't know. I highly enjoy this. It was just a fun read. If you're looking for a fun time, nothing too heavily pressed, this is the one for you. Enemies to lover trope kind of. And B is a neuroscientist, or neuroengineering, my mistake. She is a neuroengineer, and she has been hired by NASA with her company, like her company that she works for and NASA are combining on this project. And Levi is the head of the engineering side. And so they have to work together, and they went to grad school together, kind of just overlapped for a year. He was on his way out, she was coming in, and he always seemed to hate her. And it was widely known throughout their programs, his distaste for her. And this goes through just kind of them working together and how to communicate, as well as just a bunch of random miscommunications and a little mystery of the shenanigans that is going on that is potentially ruining the project, and they have to, and she suspects that it's him because he doesn't want to work with her. Things happen, and it's cute, and it's just a fun time, and I absolutely loved it. However, I will say a lot of people hated the fact that the only descriptor in the love hypothesis was that he was so tall, he was so big, over and over and over again. It's the same thing, like constantly how many times that Levi was described as huge, massive, hulking, like a big guy, but so strong and muscular. It was very much that. It was said a lot. It was a lot, but I thought it was so fun. Also very spicy, a lot spicier than the love hypothesis. So like love hypothesis had, I think, 1 or 2 spicy scenes. This has, I think, quite a handful of those scenes, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. Last book that I read in November was Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen. Not gonna lie, I thought about DNFing this book. I was very close to DNFing this book, but I did push through. You know, I'm glad I finished it because it was nice, but I didn't enjoy this as much as I thought it would. It was very different than what I thought it was gonna be. So it is magical realism, yes, in the sense that there are ghosts present, and I thought it was going to be a murder mystery, like, because the synopsis is Zoe moves into her mother passed away when she was younger, and Zoe moves into her apartment when she's going to school, or like she moves in, and there's a bunch of characters around. They're just a weird bunch, quirky if you will. And the night that she moves in, one of the residents dies. And I thought it was going to be like a murder mystery, like how did she die? No, you find out how she dies immediately. But there are ghosts around, and they do get to tell their stories, but it's not the main focus, and we get multiple POVs. I just feel like it was lacking just in substance. I don't know, some of the things could have been fleshed out. I feel like if we would have had one of the ghosts as POVs, just kind of as an omnipresent person, or even just one ghost, one living person, and have that so that you get kind of the behind the scenes stuff as well as the living scene stuff. I feel like everybody's story is somewhat superficial. We dive into a couple stories, but not as much as I would have liked. It's a very short book. There was a lot of unnecessary things in here, and then there was just a lot of things that were not properly fleshed out. So in that sense, it was lacking. I saw what the book was trying to do, and I enjoyed it from that perspective because I saw the potential there. It just did not live up to that potential, which I'm really sad about, but I am happy that I finally have it off my shelf. I will probably be donating this one, which is fine. Somebody else can enjoy it. Maybe they'll love it a lot more than me, but yeah, it was a quick read at least. It wasn't what I was wanting it to do and what I think it could have done. We read 6 books this month, all of the books that were on my November TBR. Again, probably won't happen ever again. So that was a momentous occasion, and I'm so happy that I did that. It was a good reading month overall. That's that. Well, if you enjoyed my wrap-up of, or any of my wrap-ups, or any of my book videos, please feel free to give this a thumbs up for that external validation that I need as an individual, unfortunately. That would be great, thank you. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any other book content that I post. I try to post weekly.